Getting shredded ain't all it's cracked up to be.
It's miserable. It's miserable. There's no getting around it. Like, because there's that part where, you know, there's a big difference between getting lean and getting shredded.
Agreed.
Getting shredded is not.
So how peeled have you been? You've been on stage before. So
I've been on stage. I don't know what percent body.
It must have been sub 5.
But I mean, it was. I hated life.
Yeah.
I looked the best I've ever looked.
Yeah.
But absolutely hated.
Do you think there's a
hated life?
Do you think there's an analogy for life there though? You've got this, because I'll tell you one thing. The leanest I've probably been in recent years was photo shoot conditions. So I would have been sub 10% body fat without a doubt. Definitely not sub 5.
Like that,
no, I wish, but definitely not sub 5. So I reckon I still had. You could correct me if, with your opinion, maybe another 4 to 6 weeks to go from what you remember that condition. I think I had probably a good 6 weeks further to be anywhere near stage
best.
Nick.
That's where it's at.
I agree. But it started verging to there. The hunger was another level. Irritability was another level. Fatigue in general was another level. And there's sides of that look that people don't appreciate. I got my blood work done just after that photo shoot. Testosterone was in the fucking bin. Everything was in the bin.
Yeah.
I felt awful for probably a good 3-4 weeks after that. But it's fucking awesome seeing yourself in that condition. No, for real, because it's especially when you fully deplete of glycogen, and then you reverse that process and you fill up and you're actually seeing. I remember that last pump before the photo shoot, and there's just veins. Your skin's see through, and it is unreal. I have to admit, and I always ask when I have clients come to me and say, I want abs, I want to get absolutely shredded. I always ask why. Why?
Absolutely, it's the most important question.
Yeah, and then when people go, well, I just want to see it, and then I'm kind of like, I can't argue with it, because it is pretty amazing to see your body in that. You're seeing yourself see through. You're seeing the like zero fat edition. You're just seeing and you get a very honest and real. Fuck, I need to build more muscle.
Yeah. That's it.
There's no hiding at that point. You're seeing a very kind of raw edition, but it's not fun.
Yeah, like, there's a trade-off though, isn't there? Because you know, you absolutely you look great, and you walk into the gym and everyone's patting you on the back. Like, oh, you look sick. And
you're like, you're getting no pump. You're weak.
Garbage,
yeah,
right?
oh man. Did I tell? I'm sure I've told you this. I'm sure you can tell similar. My last upper body session, I actually held strength. That photo shoot, I held strength quite well up until the final week, where it was like peak week anyway. Yeah, and that feeling of depletion's a very weird feeling, because I remember I had a dumbbell overhead press, and I was at home, I was in my gym, and normally I'd go around, I don't know, at the time probably as well, maybe 40, 45 kilo dumbbells. So I'd logically warm up 15s, probably in 5s, and I remember going 15s, 20s started feeling a little bit heavier than they should. And then the 25s, I remember getting 3 reps before, you know when you hit the training wall, when it's max effort, the 9th rep, and you're hitting failure. And I was getting that on the 3rd set of my second warm-up set. Man, and I remember literally going,
it's not good.
It is a very difficult feeling to explain, because then you've got the mental side of, you feel like, as long as you're aware of it, you're like, well, I'm not piss weak, it's just depletion. But it's quite an experience, isn't it? Because you are quite weak as a kitten.
Oh yeah. You absolutely feel the worst.
It's embarrassing.
Yes, it's dreadful. Like aside from going away from the aesthetic, though, I think I do recommend, if you could do something, if you can get shredded, if you can commit to getting shredded once in your life, it's well worth doing. Only because you'll learn a lot about yourself mentally.
Agreed.
Because it's such a tough place to be. You feel lonely. You don't really relate to other people. But if you can put up with that kind of misery, then everything else seems easy afterwards.
Yeah, and when you remember you've chosen it.
Yeah,
I always do when I'm dieting. I've chosen to do this. I have chosen to get to that condition and endure the kind of the suffering that it takes to get there. But that's kind of the reward.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the price to pay.
Yeah,
there is no way around it. There's no other way.
Anything
to get
worth having. What's the saying? I've forgotten.
It's there somewhere. Anything worthwhile is worth suffering. Brilliant.